Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. Oh my gosh, welcome back to another episode. I have my dog right here, Bentley Michael, just looking on my little remote. Get out of here. Get out of the way. Look, he right here in the bottom of the camera. I'm never going to kick him out. He just about to find himself somewhere comfortable to get. He's scratching himself right now. Okay? Jeez. Scratch yourself somewhere else. But welcome back to another pod week, another episode. Thank you so much for being here, my OGs. What is up? What is up? What is up? How y'all doing? How have y'all been feeling? How have y'all been liking this podcast corner? How have you been liking it? I have been loving it. I have been watching my own YouTube videos. Like, I just be watching it and I'm like, oh my gosh, look, there's me. I am so happy to be here. I'm always honored to be here. Just thankful that God, one, wakes me up every day, and two, gives me joy every time I even think about doing anything for this podcast. Thank you to him above all else. Okay, returning listeners, welcome to this podcast. I hope you find a home here. I hope you help me build this community here, because I want this to be a safe space for everybody. I say it in my intro, I say it in my outro. This is somewhere where you can be your unique self. Being your unique self is not about being perfect. It's about being exactly who you truly are. I don't want anybody here that has to fake, being who they are to be here. I don't want you to have to feel like you're uncomfortable here. If you are not on a journey to find your confidence, it is okay right now. If you feel like I don't have time to work on feeling confident in who I am, being confident in who I am around other people, regardless of the rooms that I'm in, it's okay. Come back whenever you are ready, because I feel like sometimes when we are forced into certain journeys that we ourselves don't feel like we need to be on in a particular moment, in a particular season, that we start to resent whoever is pushing for that type of change in us, if we are not seeing that there's anything that needs to be changed. So for me, I am so hell-bent on you doing what you want to do because you want to do it. I don't want to force anybody to be here. I don't want to force anybody to watch these. If you feel obligated to, don't feel obligated to do anything for me. Because if you feel obligated to do it, I just truly, honestly do not want you to do anything. Okay? Do what you want to do. Be true in who you are. Be true in what you decide to do and allot your time to, because your intentions, your attitude, your effort will definitely reflect the attitude and choices that you did and did not want to make. Okay, so welcome. I hope during your duration of listening to this, watching this, wherever you may be listening and getting your audio only podcasts, or you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for stopping in. I hope you find a home here. I love any and all girlies. Guys, you guys have been ticking up on the analytics, okay? I notice that you guys are listening. I notice that there are more guys listening. So if you're a guy, what's up? Put a little fist in the comment section if you're watching this. But I just want everybody to feel at home here. It doesn't matter what color, what race, what gender you are, what you go by, pronouns, whatever. I just want everybody to feel like themselves here, and that is the type of community that I want to build. So, jumping right into this episode, I want to talk about long-term friendships. Are you in a long-term friendship? Have you had a long-term friendship? Are you someone that has never had a long-term friendship? And what does that look like? Because it looks different from person to person. Whether you're on the opposite side of that friendship, whether you're on the other side of, having to let that friendship go, whether you're on the side of never having a long-term friendship and don't know what that feels like, and you want to build a community, gather here so we can talk about it, because this is definitely something that I thought about last night before I went to bed. And if you don't know, I get like a lot of my ideas of what I want to talk about in the shower, which is so weird. In the shower and before I go to bed. Those are the two like top times that I get ideas that, oh, I need to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I may not have the insight or, fourth mind of this is something that I've been through, or this is something that I'm going through. And I just want to know from my followers, from my subscribers, from my listeners, what are your takes on it? So, first and foremost, originally when I thought about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I have never had a long term friendship. Never, ever, ever have I had a long term friendship. But as I was, thinking that, and then as I'm talking on it now, which is something that I do want to show on the podcast in a second, that is so incorrect. I have maybe less than a handful of people that I either am in communication with now, or I don't have to talk to every day to know that we're still cool. I have maybe a handful of people that I've known since high school that I still talk to this day or interact with in some, shape, form, or fashion. And originally, when I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a female best friend that I've known since I have even grown up, or known since elementary school, or known since middle school, or known since high school. I do not have that type of friendship with anybody, regardless. Now, I did have that type of friendship with somebody like a few years back, but we are no longer friends. So I am not big on spoiling all the details. I'm not going to get into the theatrics. I'd rather be drama free. So I want to pose this question to everybody else and also give my insights on some of the questions that I will ask, just because I don't have that friendship anymore. I can tell the difference in intimacy, closeness that I have with friends that I have now versus the friend that I had for years. I've known her since middle school. And to end up ultimately having to make a hard decision and end that friendship. Okay, so more times than not, I continuously see these type of posts on TikTok where it's like, oh, girl best friends that have known each other since elementary school, or that have been friends with each other since middle school or growing up or high school, gather here, do this, do that, bragging on it. I love the fact that people have this sense of sisterhood because of how long they've known each other and how long they've been friends. But I'm just like, dang, like I wish I still had that. And so, because I keep seeing these things or types of posts on social media, I wanted to bring it to my audience. How many of you out there, whether you're listening or watching, how many of you out there have a friend, a best friend, somebody that you know that you've been like literally like, I want you to say that I want you to be able to say that you guys are best friends. How many of you out there have had or has been best friends with your friend since childhood, when you guys are growing up, before you even made it to elementary school, if you can remember? Elementary school, middle school, or high school. How many of you guys have friendships that have withstood that length of time? Drop it in the comment section, put like a hands up emoji or something, and tell me where you guys met, because I really truly want to know. My ex best friend and I met in middle school when we went to a charter school together, and from then we kind of were like, just tied at the hip, tied together. And we went through high school, not all the way through college being friends, just because I think we cut things off when I was 20 or 21. And that's pretty young to like not have any like close friends that you can like call on, just be on the phone with, not even saying anything, just listening to each other breathe, all of the things. And so since then, I haven't had like a girl best friend until my girl best friend now, and I met her like 2 or 3 years ago. I think, yeah, I met her the same year I met my fiance, so 3 years ago for sure. But I could just tell the difference in having a friend that you've known for 5, 6, 7+ years versus, just cultivating a new relationship and getting to know each other and, building that friendship, getting into that realm of best friend wife stuff. Like, that's what I call her, my bestie wife. So it's just like, there's a different level of intimacy there where it's like, okay, that person saw me grow up and go through all of these changes into the person that I was, when I was 20 or 21 before we ended things versus the person that I know now. And the person that she, like the me that she knows now, is this person that is a product of everything that she's been through and where she is current in life. And so I just wanted to ask other friendship groups, or whether you are somebody that have more new friends than old or old friends than new, what are your perspectives on long term friendships versus new friendships? And I got some questions for y'all, okay? So we're going to go one by one because I need my questions answered. And I really, truly do want some engagement because I see a lot more people. Okay, I'm clocking it. I've seen a lot more people tune into the YouTube. Thank you so much. I enjoy you guys flocking over there, or just stopping in. But I need some engagement as well. I want to be able to talk to y'all. I want to be able to, just have a conversation with you guys in the comments. Like, let's get physical. Physical. We're not getting physical, okay? We're not getting physical, but we need to get interactive. Okay, so my first question to all of you girlies and guys that have friendships that have surpassed the length of 5 years, what does the level of intimacy look like in that long term relationship? And let me clarify the word intimacy because I surely thought intimacy only meant like sexual vibes, that tingling sensation, the love that you're like feeling for that person, in fact, all of that. But intimacy literally means closeness or like a friendship. And I literally looked that up and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what that meant. We really have to get down and dirty with these darn definitions because some of these words that we may think are naughty are not that. Intimacy, the closeness, friendship, close familiarity, y'all. I get tongue tied sometimes. Y'all gotta be patient with me, okay? Do not drag me. Oh, she can't talk. She's illiterate. I'm not, okay? I just need some time. But no, what does that level of intimacy look like in a friendship that has been cultivated and managed and taken care of for 5+ years? I genuinely want to know, y'all. My drink done fail, but I genuinely want to know. And this is because I feel like the level of intimacy that I had with my ex best friend versus the level of intimacy that I have with my new best friend are slightly different in a way because that ex best friend just saw me through everything, and so I felt like I could be completely unhinged, which I could be completely unhinged with my girl best friend now. But I think it's just a difference of everything that they see you go through and come out of versus when they just see you in this one particular spot. I'm not saying that I'm any more closer with my old best friend, at the time of our friendship than I am my girl best friend now, because I feel like my girl best friend now, we are literally thick as thieves. Her husband always says like, oh my gosh, she don't talk to me as much as she talked to you. Or when I went over there this past weekend, he was like, man, y'all talk to each other all day, every day. Y'all ain't tired of each other yet. She gotta come over. Y'all ain't tired. All of this stuff. So it's just funny to see like the difference. I'm sorry, you guys. It's just funny to see like the difference in like how long you've known or been friends with somebody, like the amount of difference that it may or may not change. Like you could click with somebody so fast that it feels more genuine and more like close and intimate than a friend that you've known for 10 years. But at this point, I feel like I wouldn't know because my ex best friend doesn't know the person that I am today. Because, like I said, our friendship ended in 2020 or 2021. That's almost 4 to 5 years ago. I'm a completely different person than I was back then. I had a completely different like viewpoint on life a little bit because I feel like I've always had like a mature viewpoint in life on where I wanted to be, what I wanted my life to look like. I don't think as much has changed, but some of my boundaries and preferences have definitely changed since then. And I feel like I've become more confident in myself. I'm not a pushover. I've completely ended overcompensating, which was our one of our last episodes. And so I feel like when you're coming from a spot of, or when you're in a position or place of, not having discernment, not having your priorities in check, not being on your P's and Q's. There are a lot of differences that you can see in life from a position where you're not really prioritizing certain things, from when you start prioritizing certain things, the things that you start to really hone in on in your everyday to day life, and things that you start to focus on that you want to see in your life, going forward or in the future. And so I just feel like the me now is not the same person that was, that other girl knew 4 to 5 years ago. Like she knew me up to a certain point, and then at that point, that version of me just died. And so I just want to know, what does the level of intimacy look like? Like I feel really close to my girl best friend now, and I feel like our views are so much similar, and that could be another thing where if your views and your morals and your values don't look alike, I'm not saying that you can't be friends. There just may be some disconnects. Does that make sense? Like, it makes sense to me because I'm talking about it and I know what I'm, kind of just imagining. But if I don't have any type of correlation to you, or I don't feel like I could be 1,000% supportive in the life that you want to live or the things that you want to strive for in life, because some of those things may go against the values and morals that I hold dear to me. I'm not going to be able to connect to you in that way. So there's going to be some disconnect. And I'm not saying that one life is better than the other, one life is the right path than the other. Some people truly grow apart. And it's not for one person to say that another person fell off because that person just went down another path. I am never, ever going to bash another female, especially not another black female, because of a path that she decided to go on. And I cannot say from my standpoint that I'm better off, right? Like, I can just say that where I am, I'm very happy with where I am. But at the end of the day, she may have grown too. Just like I said, the version of me 4 to 5 years ago has died at that point. That could be the same thing for her. So never to bash anyone, because you never know the life experiences that they have gone through, especially with years to come, because there are several different seasons that people can go through. But I don't know if that level of intimacy with her would have changed if we would have still been friends to this day, right? So I just want to know, from a friendship couple or throuple, truly friends, okay? Not fooling around, not doing none of that weird stuff that some people may coincide with friendships. But if you guys are truly friends, what does that intimacy look like between the two of y'all? My next question is going to be, if you make a new friend, because I'm not going to say, oh, I just met somebody and we're cool. No, I consider them my friend. No, you have to genuinely give people time to fill them out to decide if you're going to consider them your friend. Because I am big on revoking access to me. I am big on revoking titles if it does not suit who you are in the season to me. I do not play about that. Now, if you're my best friend, you have reached top tier subscription status with me, okay? That sounds so terrible, but if I consider you my friend, that's a come and go title to me. Like, if I consider you my good friend, my best friend, we're locked in, tight like a booty hole. If you don't know that Vine or TikTok, you're too young. But anyway, do you trust your new friends, okay, less than your long term friendships because they're newer? Like, do you prioritize length of time to types of opinions or advice from people? And I feel like that's a good question only because there may be some people out there that's like, oh, well, she's newer on my friend list. So I'm really not going to take advice from her, or I can't really, take what she says to heart, or really interpret, or even want to hear her side of the story. All of the things that goes along with, I'm not going to consider this person's thought process because they don't know me as well as these my old friends do. Right? Like, do you discard the fact that your new friend may have a more fresh and more unskewed bias opinion on some of the things that you may be asking everybody? Or are you going to kind of like disregard it just because your other friends have been there longer than that person? And I feel like, to me, I think logically, not all females do. Okay. So to me, it's like, okay, if I'm your friend, regardless of the length of time that we've been friends, regardless how long I've been friends with them, whoever provides the most logically sound advice to me is what I may take into consideration, what in whatever situation that I'm, trying to consider making a decision in, right? So to me, it's just like, it doesn't matter the length of time that you're friends with somebody. If this person is giving you logically sound advice and not just telling you what you want to hear because you want to hear it, and telling you exactly what you need to hear, even if you don't want to hear it, that's the type of friend that I'm going to kind of confide in and take advice from. I'm not saying that I'm not going to take advice from any of my other friends because they weren't able to produce a type of advice regimen like that. I'm just saying I will not derank somebody just because of the length of time that I've been friends with them or have known them. And now I think one of my last questions or so is probably going to be, how do you rank your friends based on the length of time that you've known them? I know that a lot of my questions have to deal with length of time, length of time, length of time, but that's truly how some females think. And I don't think that way. So I honestly just want to get, a little perspective on what other people think in their thought processes, especially those that are currently in long-term friendships, because I've seen females that I've gone to school with, I've graduated with, all of the things. And I'm like, oh, dang, they were friends when we were back in elementary school or middle school or high school. Like, that's, first off, I love that. I love that for everybody that has found a sister in someone that is not blood related to them. I love that for y'all, because there's a type of sisterhood that you guys have that is just beautiful, that both of you guys or females have decided to cultivate and work through, because not a lot of people decide to work through, friendships, disagreements, because friendships are just like romantic relationships. You have to put work into those things. It's not easy to keep another female happy, okay? Like, men, y'all think having females can be difficult. Having a female friend can be difficult as well, because not only do you not want to step on toes, but you don't want to make another female feel like you're better than them, or you're kind of like doing the tit for tat thing. You always want, I me specifically, I always want to make sure I'm praising my friend's attributes. I'm praising her success. I'm praising, the things that she's accomplishing. I'm motivating her when it seems like she's lost her way. I'm there for her when she feels like she needs to confide in me without judgment. Because one of the biggest things for us females, we judge. We judge. We can say, oh, we listen and we don't judge. Whatever. Girl, I'm judging you secretly in my mind. But to what end? Okay? Because if I'm going to be your friend, I'm not going to judge you silently. I don't want to say anything behind your back that I wouldn't say directly to your face. That is true friendship to me. And I feel like me and my best friend now, we thick as thieves. And I told her before, I feel like she's the truest friendship that I've had as far as females, just because she doesn't she's not as sensitive to my feelings all the time, but I will say She knows when to be sensitive with my feelings, and she knows when to give me the real without disrespecting or harming me. I feel like a lot of the times, if you're not doing as great as somebody else, or if they don't agree with whatever you're feeling, it's a, why are you feeling this way? You da, 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 unless it's in a mood or in a way to make it a positive situation. Like, girl, you feeling down about X, Y, and Z. Why would you feel down? Because, girl, you the best girl out here. Da, da. Unless it's to boost me up, why are you judging and trying to make me feel bad about myself? Okay, no, lift me up, lift me up. Okay, so I just feel like not a it's not a lot of out there like that anymore. I feel like a lot of people are in a race. They're in a competition with their friends. Like, I'm like, how could you ever be in competition with your friends? I want each and every one of my friends to succeed. I want my best friend to succeed. She has succeeded in life. She has won in life. She has a loving husband. She has two beautiful boys that I almost love as if they were my own, but I could never because they're not mine. I see them, I love on them, and then I'm like, yeah, mother, okay, I'm gone. Peace out, adios. But I just feel like sometimes you have to be careful because there's a lot of females out here, especially when you're trying to make friends, that are secretly in competition with you. Like, it's just unfathomable. Okay, so do you rank your friends based off the length of time that you've known them and that you guys have been friends? Because to me, I'm not ever going to tell somebody, oh, it's you above all. It's really my bestie wife before, but above all. But there's some other thing. Like, if it comes a point in time where I have somebody else that comes along and we become good friends, right? Like, I'm not saying one person will come before the other, but the type of relationship that I've cultivated with somebody may, be more important to me than another relationship. But I'm not ever if I have best friends, I may not be able to rank them. I don't know what it's like to have multiple best friends because I literally only have one best girlfriend and then one best guy friend. So, for the girls that have multiple friends, know them for several years, how do you go about interacting with your long-term friendships? Do you rank one higher than the other one due to length of time, or how do you kind of navigate those different relationships and when those people need you to show up, for them? Because, like I said, it's just like relationships. Just like you want your boyfriend, fiance, husband to be there and show up for you when you need them, your friends should be able to do the same for you. Okay, like, that is just one of the things that is super important to me. If I can't confide in you, if I can't come talk to you, if I have something going on and you won't be there for me, like, what is the point? What is the point? Like, I feel like when you are building friendships, when you are building a community, these are the people that you actively get to choose. You don't get to choose your family, but you get to choose your friends. And I want friends that will be there and show up for me and advocate for me when I am not in the room. But I say all of that to say, like, I just want to get kind of like a deeper understanding because I don't know what it's like. Like, I have not had a sleepover since my ex best friend. Back then, I was single as a Pringle. And, it used to just be impromptu sleepovers, like just being able to lay in the same vicinity and not really, like, don't even have to talk, just being on our phones, just being lazy together, just pulling up without having to say anything. Like, I feel like I missed that. But I don't know if that would have been like the same type of access that I would have allowed my friend to have with me now that I have two dogs, a fiance. We're constantly sometimes busy. Living in Murfreesboro, my parents are in like, it's a lot of other more things going on now than what it used to be. So I don't know what my relationship with my ex best friend would have looked like today if we were still friends. Um, but I mean, I'm just curious on like how it looks for other people. Now I do have maybe like two or three friends that I've known since high school. And one in particular, I'm going to let you guys listen to an audio message he sent me. Because at first I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any friends since I've known since high school, yada yada yada. And then it hit me. I'm like, I have like two or three people I can name off the top of my head that I've known since high school that I'm still in contact with to this day. Like I don't have to talk to them every day to know that we're cool. I don't have to see them periodically to know I'm cool with them. Like the audio message I'm gonna play is from my guy best friend. Um, like I said, I've known him since high school, and we graduated in 18, so that's already right there 7 years, which is crazy to say. But I had to realize that there's always going to be a difference in interaction with a guy best friend than your girl best friend. Like I've never done, and I would never even fathom doing an impromptu sleepover, a pop up, a this, a that on a guy best friend than I would a girl best friend, right? So those are just like the differences that I thought about when I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any friends since high school. And I'm like, oh snap, I do have one good friend since high school. It's just not the type of relationship that I'm thinking about, right? Like I would never and have never thought about dating my guy best friend. It has always been platonic. I don't know who ruined the view on friendships with, well, heterosexual friendships, because guys always think, oh well, they always kiki kakaing, maybe they should date. It has always been, oh, why don't you date one of the twins? Y'all always, y'all are good friends. Y'all are good. Why come females and males cannot just be friends without everybody else trying to take it out of context? It's not like that. It was never like that, and it will never be like that. I'm now engaged. I never thought about, all of this with my guy best friend. We are strictly friends. Never done anything, never will. So, he sent me an audio message last night, and it took me aback because as I was listening to it, I was typing. I text as I listen to people's audio message so I don't forget anything that you mentioned in your audio message, and making sure I reply in full to what you sent me. So I was typing, and then when he said this particular thing, I was like, oh my gosh, that just feels so good for somebody else to see the work that I'm putting in and appreciate it and want to acknowledge it. And so, it y'all know I always tell y'all, make sure that you are not getting in relationships, into friendships, with a sense of you're needing something from somebody that you can't do for yourself. Right? I hate that. I do not like being in that type of position, because then that gives that other person that control over you. Oh, well, you can't leave me because I do X, Y, and Z for you. You weren't able to do this for yourself. That's why I was able to do it. And that's why you're with me. Yada, yada. It just gives somebody a type of power trip over you. And so that's why I strain for people to stay away from those type of relationships, regardless if it's platonic or romantic. Um, Even your family members, they try to, swing certain things around that they should do as parents anyway, whatever. But for me, I am somebody that I have motivation within myself. I strive on motivating myself, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's sitting down here and doing this podcast a million times until I feel like I get it right, whether that's making sure I'm uploading and bringing quality content to whatever platform I'm posting on, whether that's you got this today, regardless of how hard it gets, you got it today. Okay? I am nothing short of motivation when it comes to me motivating myself. I have the purest intentions when it comes to my podcast. I've had a vision on how I wanted my podcast to look, and it came out completely, maybe even different than what I think I thought for my podcast. And so I am always pouring into my own bucket. I do not lack the motivation, the effort, the energy that I need to gain from somebody else whatsoever. And so I've told y'all before, when you're able to pour into your own bucket, whatever anybody else pours into there is just a surplus. It's just makes your bucket overflow. And so in turn, that's going to pour into other buckets because I've gotten this small boost. I've gotten this small, load from somebody else that I'm able to divert some of that energy over into a different area of my life. And so for me, like I said, I have like a good amount of motivation within myself that I've never looked for outside motivation. But when my best guy friend, when my best friend has sent me this audio message last night just telling me how proud he is of me for going through with what I wanted to do versus what I was talking about down like a year or so ago, that just felt good because I could get enough motivation from just seeing myself follow through with the things that I do, but someone else being able to see that, appreciate it, and make it known that they see that. A lot of people aren't doing that today. A lot of people are just keeping tabs on you to see, okay, well, she's still going with it. When is she going to quit? I guess I'll be on the road for, however long she goes through with this until she quits. She'll quit at some point. I'm just waiting for that time. But there's not enough people giving people their props. There's not enough people saying, oh my gosh, congratulations. Great job on reaching this milestone. Great job. I've seen that you've recently, accomplished this. Great job. I just wanted to reach out and say, congratulations. I don't want anything from you. Congratulations. That's all I wanted to say. And so to get that type of treatment from him, to receive that message wholeheartedly, because this is something that I've talked to him about, and he's now seeing, all of my passion come into fruition. It's a different level of gratitude that I hold there. So I'm going to play the message. I'm going to let you guys hear, what he had to say, and then we'll talk about it after.
Well, bestie, hope you're doing good. Hope you're blessed. Blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Amen, amen, and amen again. No, I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, bro. Like, for real. I know you was talking about going to the visual side for a minute as far as your podcast, and I need to check it out. I've just been working a lot, going through life, going through things, and been down, but still alive, so I can't complain. I just want to stop by and tell you, man, I'm proud of you. And bestie for the rest of you, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing your thing. And I need my front row seat at y'all wedding, so let's get the tickets, let's get the seats ready, and bye.
Okay, so that was his message to me last night, bro. When I tell you, Jaylee B is a freaking character. If you haven't listened to the podcast episode with him featured on it, it is only on audio platforms only, so Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. You can scroll through the episodes because I'm not sure specifically which episode number it is, but it'll say featuring Jaylee B. Y'all, when I tell you all we freaking do is laugh, that man be having me dying. But right there is just that takes a lot, especially out of a guy, honestly, to like reach out to somebody that you're cool with, but y'all don't talk all the time, to let this person know, I see what you're doing. I remember when we used to talk about this night and day, and I see what you're doing now to bring that dream to life. I'm proud of you for that. Thank you for continuing to be you and strive for the goals that you have for yourself. Even though he didn't say thank you, obviously. I mean, but to me, I would thank anybody for continuing to believe in themselves, to genuinely be their unique self without being apologetic about it. Because there will be a lot of people that will be their unique selves in a moment, and because it doesn't work for somebody else, they're apologizing. Why are you apologizing for being you? You should never have to apologize for being you. But also, for him to say that, he's, working a lot and going through some things, but he just wanted to take the time out of his day to say he's proud of me. He sees what I'm doing, that I'm being on the visual side of, my podcast and doing the things and getting stuff done. That takes a lot, because a lot of us are so wrapped up into what we got going on, what we're doing in our day to day, that we're not noticing what other people are accomplishing or going through, especially our own friends, or we see what they're going through because we may have a little bit of time to scroll on TikTok or Instagram. And when we come across it, oh, okay, they're doing good. Okay, swipe. It takes a lot out of somebody to be able to outwardly express their 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 I don't even know what to say. Like, not their gratitude, but how proud they are of that person, even when they are going through something themselves. So, Jaylee B, if you're watching this, I love you, my brother. Well, we used to call each other cousins. That's my cousin. That's my cousin. Like, that's literally my guy, okay? Like, that's brother from another mother for sure. And about that front row seat to my wedding. If I can't do front row, second at best, okay? But yeah, you guys, I have, I don't know. I don't know if I would ever say that people that I were friends with in the past cannot come back into my life and be my friend now. I don't think I'll ever close that door, but I have to see some type of change, because people can be who they are, but if it triggers you to the point where they haven't changed, and that's just not the season that you're in anymore, and it takes you back to a time where maybe things weren't sunshines and rainbows, maybe maybe that friendship can't go back. And I don't think friendships can go back once a boundary has probably been crossed. Like, I just can't fathom the type of relationship that I used to have with that friend be the same now as it was then. So I just want to hear from long-term friendships. Do you prioritize your long-term friendships over the friendships that you are newly cultivating? I feel like if you if you respect your relationships with your friends, it shouldn't matter. It genuinely shouldn't matter. But just seeing a lot of that on TikTok, it doesn't it just leaves me to question, do people prioritize their long-term friendships over their newly cultivated relationships? Because yes, there is some pride in having long-term friendships, but there's pride in finding new friends in the season that you are in now. It's totally okay. So I just wanted to, pose questions to you guys so we can get more interactive on YouTube, especially because this is where the visual is. But if you're listening on an audio platform only, if there's a comment section, comments. I will be more than happy to visit your comments out there and interact with you guys. This is genuinely going to be a community. Whether y'all like it or not, this is going to be a community where any and everybody can come and be a part of. You just have to be unapologetically your unique self. You have to appreciate yourself, respect yourself, and you have to respect others. I don't want to see any negativity on any comments, on any repost to anybody. I don't want to see anything negative. So, this is going to be a community of love, appreciation, you know, what else do they call it? Unification, sister and brotherhood. I am your sister in Christ. Y'all, the guys out there, y'all will be my brothers in Christ. Like, I just want everybody to find a home here in whatever capacity that looks like for you. And I don't want people to prioritize long-term friendships over newfound friendships. I want you to prioritize the type of person and capacity that you show up in for that friend. Because we can have long-term friendships, but in what capacity do you show up in for your new friends? Because if you're not showing up for your new friends whatsoever, and in any type of capacity, you always put your other friends above them, you're going to have to balance those. Because if you're always putting others before me, what's the point of being friends? You never have time for me. You're not there for me to confide in. That shows your intentions. That shows where your priorities lie. It is clearly not me. I'm okay with you putting someone else before me, but as long as you're still showing up for me when I need you in the full capacity that I need you in, that's okay. But I'm not okay with you putting somebody above me and never being there for me when I need you. That there's a difference. Okay? Like, you can prioritize length of time all you want, but loyalty isn't based on the length of time that you know somebody. It's based on the unwavering love, affection, commitment that one has to you. And that's what I base my loyalty off of. So, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I may or may not be batch creating today. So if you see me in another podcast episode with the same stuff on, laid back still, because I feel like I've been laid back. I look so big with this big poofy thing on. Like, I am comfortable. But if you see me again in another episode with the same stuff on, don't judge, okay? Do not judge. Please take into consideration that it may have been created on the same day, okay? But nonetheless, you guys, it's been amazing talking to you all. I love you. I appreciate you. And in contribute to my guy best friend, Jay Lee B, drop a black heart and a sword emoji that crosses. I'll drop it on the screen somewhere. Those are some of the emojis that we use all the time. So black heart, sword emoji, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection, it's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.